What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with my MLB Week 3 weekend preview for the series starting Friday, April 10th through the 12th. And a few series start on the 9th, Thursday night before the game start. I'm recording this. So let's dive into it here for weekend previews. You get the Marlins traveling to Detroit. That should be a very good series. Marlins 8-5, off to a surprisingly hot start. Tigers, if they lose this series, I think it might be time to think about hitting the panic button with what's going on there. So the Tigers definitely got to have this series at least take two of three to kind of get back trending in the right direction there in this series. In Miami, with a lot of young guys, have nothing to lose, so it could be a very good series there in Detroit. The Angels go across the country to face the Reds in a series which the Angels have been playing some good baseball. The Reds have got off to a quick start. Could be an interesting series. I think these two teams kind of match up well right now with the way these Angels are playing. Pitching is going to be the question mark for the Angels going to a hitter-friendly ballpark. Definitely advantage the Reds in this series for this weekend. The Twins go to Toronto after sweeping my Tigers 3-6. They sweep the four-game set. Now they're 7-6 going to Toronto, where Toronto did take game three after they already lost the series to the Dodgers. So coming in off of a win, Toronto kind of needs this series to get back afloat. I know with all their injuries that they have currently to the rotation and now position players, I mean, it's just unfortunately they're the team right now that is getting hit with the injury bug. Hopefully, no more new injuries to report at this time next week, but Blue Jays got to find consistency somewhere, and I think this could be a good series to do so, even though the Twins are red hot coming into this series. Then you have the Athletics and the Mets. The A's go across New York as they wrapped up a series with the Yankees today, almost throwing a no-hitter. One hitter against the Yankees, so definitely some momentum there going to the other side of New York, where the Mets come in looking to see how they're going to play without Soto for the second series. And that's kind of concerning, but this team is playing some really good baseball. Pitching wise, they're getting it done. And the A's, off to a slow start. We thought this team would be able to hit the ball pretty much anywhere they want with that loaded lineup, the young guys, but that just hasn't been the case so far this season. And I think that could be an interesting series for you to watch if you're interested in kind of some young guys, because there are a lot of young guys on both those teams that are getting some significant playing time early on. And then the other series, we got Yankees Rays. We got an AL East matchup for three games, the first time these teams are meeting this year. Yankees coming in, leading the AL East, where the Rays would like to make up some ground here, looking to steal that one at home. Um, the Yankees, what they've been doing, pitching and hitting, has been top tier. I know they did just lose the series to the A's, but I don't know. I think the Yankees are out for blood this weekend against the Rays, where the Rays have had some problems hitting the ball for power, not really getting it done they need it. So this could be a concerning series here for the Rays, as they could kind of get behind the eight ball if they get swept in this one. Giants travel to Baltimore, which has kind of been a disappointment start for both these teams. So it's a big series, I think, to really vault them in the right direction here as we get to the middle of April. White Sox Royals play a four-game set. White Sox at 4-8, Royals at 5-7. So these two teams looking to get out of the bottom of the AL Central along with the Tigers. And I don't know, this series could go either way. I think on paper you'd probably lean the Royals, but the White Sox are kind of the more fun team right now. At least with Munetaka Murakami hitting the way he has been hitting, Colson Montgomery, and this pitching staff is young, but I don't know. They somehow got to find ways to get outs, but it's gonna be tough stopping this Royals lineup. So, and especially on the road, the Royals lineup at home has looked really good. I like Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino in this situation, Michael Garcia. The Royals, I think, definitely could take three or four from the White Sox here early on and kind of put the White Sox in a hole. And then you have the Nationals traveling to Milwaukee to face the Brewers, who are yet again doing it exactly what they did last year in winning series and doing what they have to do. Maybe they're not going to score that many runs, but the pitching staff is elite once again. And who's to say that the Brewers just don't start running away with this thing? The NL Central, obviously the Brewers, Pirates, and Reds right now are at the top. Kind of flip-flopped the standings, at least for the Cubs' standpoint for last year is they've got off to a slow start, but the Brewers, I definitely could see them get being the first team to 10 wins with a series victory over the Nationals this weekend. And then the other two series we haven't talked about yet. It's the Red Sox traveling to St. Louis. Red Sox desperately need this series win here on the road as they can't fall far behind in the AL Central. Roman Anthony fielding has been the big question. Rafaela, I mean, there's lots of questions already in Boston, and we're only 12 games in. That's never a good sign for Cora and the managers in the front office. So hopefully they can kind of ease that pain here by getting a series win here against St. Louis on the road, who have surprisingly played some really good baseball here early on with the young guys. Weatherholt, of course, has been hitting the ball well. You have Burleson, obviously the four hitter playing well, and Jordan Walker, what he has done in these first 12 games, getting off to a red hot start, has helped this Cardinals to the 7-5 record. Then you have the Rockies and Padres in the other four-game series this weekend starting Thursday night. Surprisingly, Rockies are at 500 through 12 games, and it's took the Rockies, I believe it was May 1st last year, to get their sixth win. And here we are on April 9th, almost a full month before they got their sixth win last year. So the Rockies trending up in the right direction. Rocktober, who knows? Maybe this Rockies team could be a team that finishes around 500 this year. I know it's early, maybe a little bit of an overreaction, but give the Rockies credit here. These young guys came to play this year, and they're playing some really good baseball. Where the Padres haven't been playing the best baseball, but they're doing enough to stay right around 500. And I think this could be a series where the Padres kind of vault themselves to 9-7, win 3 or 4 games here in this one, and then start getting things in the right direction. Jackson Merrill has looked really good at the plate, but other than that, we haven't really seen this Padres offense take off yet. And this definitely could be a series where that happens. And starting with my fifth best series to watch this weekend, it's going to be the Diamondbacks and Phillies. The Diamondbacks coming in 6-6 along with the Phillies. You can see there, Phillies have been the most 500 team, I think, all year. 5-5 in the last 10. Diamondbacks are 6-4 in their last 10. But it's going to be the pitching matchups is what's going to stand out here in this one, especially Sunday, Gallen versus Painter. We're going to be a great matchup there. Soroka, let's see if he can keep doing what he's been doing through these first two starts, pitching really well against Luzardo. And then the Diamondbacks in game two are throwing out fat against Walker. Definitely great 3 games of pitching matchups here in this one as the Diamondbacks going with the right-handed, you know, heavy pitching staff here in this one, where they're gonna have to try to stop that mostly lefty Phillies lineup, where the Phillies, this Diamondbacks offense has been okay at times, but Corbin Carroll's kind of been carrying the load here. So they're going to need some productions elsewhere, the Diamondbacks, that is, if they want to win this series. And then the fourth best series is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates traveling on the road to face the Chicago Cub. Carmen Mlodzinski gets game one against Shota. Should be a good game on Friday. Game two, Braxton Ashcraft against Edward Cabrera. Great matchup there. And then game three, Bubba Chandler versus Jameson Tyone. And you notice the Cubs don't have really their big names. Well, Horton obviously has been ruled out for the year. Boyd already hurt, and Justin Steele's still coming back from injury. So this Cubs team is already kind of getting through it here with the pitching staff wise. So maybe the Pirates could go into Wrigley, steal a weekend series early in the year, and it could be the one we look back at the end of the year that kind of determines where these teams kind of end up. But the Cubs lineup obviously is far better than the Pirates, and the Cubs don't have to face Skeens here in this one. So maybe the advantage is to the Cubs there, as they really need to get things going here in the right direction. Where the Pirates, if they win this series, I mean, more people might just keep buying stock in this Pirates team. Then the third best series I got for you, it's going to be the Guardians going to Atlanta and facing the Braves. These two teams match up very well against each other. Guard ball can travel to Atlanta, I believe, as long as they can pitch well. This Braves offense hasn't really taken off and got off to that hot of a start. I know Dom Smith has been playing well early on, but after that, I mean, I don't really see any guys on this lineup that's really going off besides him and Drake Baldwin. Um, I don't know. I just think the Braves, they played some good baseball here, but maybe give the edge to the Guardians here because they just thrive in these situations. And then Tanner Bybee versus Chris Sale on Sunday Night Baseball is going to be must-watch TV on Peacock. So make sure you guys tune into that one at least here. But that game one matchup, I think, could kind of sway which way this series is going to go. If Elder can keep dominating like he has in his first two starts, then why can't the Braves here kind of take over this series and win it on Sunday night? And then number two, it's going to be the Rangers and Dodgers. And Rangers off to a good start, kind of what they wanted to do last year, but just never could get it going. And the Dodgers, of course, are going to Dodger, do their thing. So Rocker versus Glass now. It was supposed to be Sheehan in game one, but they flipped that to give him an extra day of rest. So Rocker Glass now is going to be a great matchup. Lighter Sheehan is going to be a great matchup. Then, of course, DeGrom versus Sasaki. I don't know, these lineups, I think, obviously it favors the Dodgers, but I think they can go back and forth against each other. That is, if they can hit the other team's opposing pitchers. And that's going to be tough here. I think runs are going to be hard to come by in this series, so it could be a bullpen thing. Obviously, I'm going the Dodgers' way for the bullpen, and they're at home here. So the Dodgers definitely have advantages here in most categories in this series, but the Rangers, we've seen them pull off a few surprises dating back a few years against this Dodgers team. So definitely something to think about there. Is in the past, the Rangers kind of have had the Dodgers number, at least beginning of series where they, at least early in the games where they can jump on them early and then hopefully put them away. But the bullpen is going to be the big thing for the Rangers in this series. If their bullpen can show up, then maybe the Rangers can steal this series. And then number one, the best series to watch this weekend. And you look at those records and you think, why am I picking this series? Well, because it's early and it matters for both of these teams, but more so the Mariners. And I say that because they're 4-9, they're 3-7 in their last 10. Emerson Hancock has been off to a blazing hot start, and he gets the ball on Friday against Amai. And great matchup there in game one. Game two, you get a hot Lance McCullers against Luis Castillo. And game three is going to be Cody Bolton against Logan Gilbert, which if the Mariners don't win that game, I would be very disappointed. I know Gilbert has struggled early on this season, but he's due for a really good game here, and I think it could be that game three. But the lineups have kind of gone ice cold, especially the Mariners. Naylor hasn't really done anything at all. I mean, it's going to be only time will tell when he starts to take off, but I don't know. Cam Smith's off to a blazing hot start along with Jordan, but after in Altuve. But after that, those three guys, not really much production anywhere else for the Astros, and that's kind of why they're here at 6-7. And like I said, the Mariners are struggling off because of that lineup. Like I mentioned already, Naylor, Cal Riley finally hit his first home run, and they're just off to a slow start. Maybe they are on a little bit of a hangover of the ALCS run, but this is why it's going to be such a huge series this early in the season because let's say the Astros go in there and sweep Seattle. I mean, they're already 4-12. I mean, that's tough in April. I know you can't win the World Series in April, but you can definitely lose the World Series in April. So the Mariners, I don't want to say that they're panicking, but depending on how the series goes, I think Mariners fans could be a little worried here if it doesn't go their way when it's all said and done. But that's all I got for you here on the weekend preview. Let me know what you guys think. It's just a new series I'm going to be rolling out here, a quick 10-15 minute video just previewing this weekend series. If there's anything you guys want me to add or get rid of, let me know down below in the comments. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. Me, Ethan, and Ty, we'd appreciate it. Hopefully getting to 500, that'd be pretty sick, not gonna lie. So just let us know if there's anything else we can do. But till next time, the Bench Buddies are out.